M Bison has been for many years the creator of destruction and devastation in the Street Fighter universe. He has terrorized the world with his obsession for power and world dominance. But what if I tell you that his motives might not be as evil as you think? What if Bison is a really good guy? Without further ado, let me welcome you to the Street Fighterverse. It's really absurd to think that someone who has caused so much distress in the Street Fighter universe would have a master plan that would involve saving the planet and actually doing something beneficial for humanity. Even though this sounds absurd, we found a theory that a great fan of Street Fighter shares with everyone. As Stephen Main states, Bison's psycho power stems from the evil of the world. Negative emotions such as fear and anger fuel it, and in turn make the energy more powerful. The consequence of this is that it corrupts everything it touches, including its wielder. Something JP said in the trailer hints at M Bison's intent. He was obsessed, you see, with finding an appropriate vessel for his power. Bison has had a hand creating many of the characters we see in the Street Fighter series, including Cammy, Ed, Falk, and Seth, and for being the catalyst of many other character stories such as Chun-Li, Guile, and Nekali. The thing is, we don't really know Bison's origins. We know how he became the villain he is today, rejecting the good part of his soul, which became Rose. What we don't know are his reasons for doing so, outside of he wanted all the power. In Street Fighter V, Rose stated she wanted to send a message to herself in the past, to stop the seed of evil from ever taking root. In other words, we could be seeing Bison's origins through Rose's eyes. What will I be seeing? If there's a power that is fueled by negative emotions, wouldn't there also be a power that is fueled by positive ones? Yes. However, this power would be just as bad as psycho power, as it too corrupts its wielder. It explains why its wielder would be seen as a positive force in the world. But like psycho power, its user wants more and more, turning their victims into mindless husks. If this is the case, then Bison's origin story wasn't him trying to destroy the world, he was trying to save it. He was obsessed with finding a vessel because he knew he couldn't handle psycho power and he had just enough humanity left in him to realize it. Bison became a villain through his own actions, his desire to save the planet from a bigger threat than him corrupted by the power he wielded. He knew about G from the beginning. He wanted to stop the world from falling to G, so he decided to take it over himself. It means that, even back then, G was always there. If we look into the character's guide of Bison for Street Fighter V, it states that, and I quote, Bison is the leader of the evil organization Shadowloo, who plans on terrorizing the world with the mysterious Black Moon. With his psycho power at maximum, we are now seeing Bison in his absolute prime, but it seemed that his real motive is not to take over the world. What could it be? Here's the origins of M Bison. M Bison was designed by Akira Akiman Yasuda and Yuko Ikusan Nakayama. Both were very influential in the early stages of the Street Fighter game's development. M Bison's concept and design were based on Washisaki, in which translated means Eagle Cape, a villain from the manga and anime Rikyo, created by Masahiko Takajo and Setsuya Saruwatari. Washisaki is one of the main antagonists in the series. He shares the same world domination vision as M Bison. Another inspiration for M Bison's creation is based on Yasunori Keto, the main antagonist of the Japanese film Tokyo, The Last Megapolis, which is also known as Teito Monogatari. Yasunori Keto is an evil sorcerer, wielding the power of several long-dead mystics, who wants to destroy Tokyo and cripple the Japanese Empire in order to fulfill a 2,000-year-old curse. Both M Bison and Yasunori Keto look very similar and have supernatural abilities, which they use for evil. M Bison's clothing consists of a red military uniform, with large shoulder plates, wristbands, and shin guards. The shin guards in M Bison's uniform are based on the style of the Universal Wrestling Federation of Japan, used in the mid-1980s. On his peaked service cap, there is a skull insignia of his crime syndicate, known as the Shadowloo. Originally called Shadow Law, the Shadowloo is a very powerful and deadly criminal organization, managed by M Bison and is responsible for dealing biochemical engineering and arms within the Street Fighter universe. As the founder and leader of the Shadowloo, M Bison uses as many illegal methods as possible to achieve his destructive and barbaric goals. ranging from drug trafficking to illegal human experimentation. His uniform resembles Japanese and Chinese imperial uniforms, with the color of the uniform being red. His uniform may also have influences on the uniforms worn by the SS officers from the Nazi Germany. The skull on M Bison's visor and the first letter of the Shadowloo on his belt is shaped as a single Sigruna. The Sigruna symbolizes victory. It represents the sun. M Bison wears a dark-colored cape in the Alpha series, where he appears with his original body. From Street Fighter II on, and in the Capcom vs SNK series, he appears with a much slimmer body and removes his cape before battle. M Bison has neatly cut black hair under his peaked cap, which he is almost never seen without. His eyes were originally red, both within and outside the irises, though the irises were still visible. After Street Fighter II Hyper Fighting, they were changed to a complete ghastly white. His eyes will glow pink when his psycho power is glowing. In Street Fighter V, Bison's look has changed. Bison wears a trench coat over his outfit with the cape. His hair has also turned white, with the extensive use of his psycho power. The psycho power is M Bison's source of evil, negative and psychotic energy. Psycho power has been described as the dark side of the soul power, a power demonstrated by Rose. The psycho power can be compared to the dark side of the Force in Star Wars, and Rose's soul power to the Force. The psycho power feeds off the fear, anger, and the hatred of others. This energy can also affect the skin, body, color, eyes, and hair of people, as shown in the case of Violent Ken and Bison. There isn't much known about the history of the psycho power and the users before the time of Shadowloo, including how M Bison obtained the secrets of soul power's negative aspects, except that it is amplified by negative emotions such as hatred, and that to master it, one must purge all good and light within oneself. It is rumored that in the past, M Bison's master was the only known person in the world who could manipulate it. It is also said that, before his death at the hands of Bison, he passed the power to only 3 students, Bison himself being one of them. M Bison has several moves in which he unleashes his psycho power. Those moves are his Psycho Crusher, Head Press, Psycho Inferno, and Double Knee Press. M Bison also uses his psycho power in a variety of weapons which are Psycho Drive. In the Street Fighter Alpha series, Shadowloo had created the Psycho Drive, a weapon that can be used to store psycho power for brainwashing people at the request of Bison himself. Beelzebub. Beelzebub is a satellite used by Shadowloo that is referred in various supplemental materials. Shadowloo uses Beelzebub to study Pandora. Beelzebub is also known to have orbital laser cannon capabilities, utilizing psycho power as a power source. Crystal Idol. In Street Fighter II V, the Crystal Idol seems to be energized by psycho power, and has a telepathic link to Bison's mind, as it can call out to him, allowing him to travel into a self-contained dimension, where every power that has existed beyond space-time is contained. M Bison is an archetypal villain, motivated by his own self-serving interests and lust for absolute power through world domination. He is a megalomaniacal and psychopathic dictator and terrorist, who seeks to rule the world with an iron fist, whilst also being universally regarded as the greatest and most powerful martial artist of all time, and will readily destroy anything or anyone who dares to stand between him and his goals. Possessing a vast ego and god complex, Bison is physically incapable of feeling empathy for others, and even takes pleasure in watching people suffer at his hands, never feeling a shed of regret or remorse for the numerous atrocities that he has committed. In many ways, Bison's characterization is comparable to the clinical diagnosis of a real-life psychopath. Bison's malevolence and sadism are reflected in his iconic smile, a very wide grin that exposes not just all the teeth, but even the gums. One of the most iconic actors that have portrayed M Bison in movies was actor Raul Julia, famous for his quote in the Street Fighter the movie, "For you, the day Bison graced your village, was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday. This perfectly cemented the attitude of Bison towards everything, feeling lack of compassion or remorse. Raul Julia perfectly embodied the part of M Bison. We, the Street Fighter universe, want to give homage to this amazing Puerto Rican actor, Raul Rafael Julia. Thank you for the memories. So what do you like about this theory? Brought to you by the Mind of Maine. Go ahead and check out his blog. Super interesting theories he has in mind. Let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on new theories and info. Thank you for watching. This has been your Street Fighter host. Welcome to the center stage. Our new Discord server. There you can talk with us, chat about current events going on in Street Fighter, information, theories, and lore. We'll leave the link in the description box below. We want to thank everyone for tuning in and becoming part of this Street Fighter community. We want to thank you for your positive comments towards our channel because it only habilitates us to grow even more. From the Street Fighterverse crew, we thank you.